Alright, so in this video we're going to go over how to download, install, and use the City of Smithville application, which is your semester-long project that will go from modules 2 through 9. So the first thing let's do is we'll go to module 2, and actually let's go here so that we can kind of see a list of all the things in the module, and go to the module 2 optional resources, and then let's go to the let's go to the textbook website. Okay, so the first thing that you'll need to do is to the City of Smithville application here is premium content. So if you didn't buy a new book at the bookstore, or otherwise a book that came with a code, you'll have to purchase access, okay? And it's like $10 or $15, one of those two. Let's see here. Let's go here and so we're in here now, and you'll go here, click on the course-wide content student City of Smithville, and then click on this link that will start your download. Alrighty, and I think that's done. So you'll click on this and it will unzip. If you have Windows 7, I'm pretty sure it will unzip automatically to a certain location, whatever your default location is. You may want to move it out of your downloads folder or to I use Dropbox, and so I have mine stored on Dropbox so that no matter what computer I'm at, I'll be able to access it. But anyway, so if you'll double click down into the Smithville Bingham student folder, wherever you end up saving this, if you're a Windows user, you're going to go to here, the Start Student, okay? If you're a Mac user, however, you should start by clicking on this HTML file that says Program. But we're going to go ahead and, oh, looks like I do have to extract this. Let's see here. If I choose a location, let's see here. Yeah, let's go to my Dropbox folder. But again, you can use, whatever location that you feel comfortable with or access most often. Just remember the location. So that when you shut down your computer and re-log on, you can navigate to it quickly. Let's see, as I've found out in my years working, don't get too cute with where you save things, because you won't remember it later on. Alright, so we're going to extract it, and alright. So here we go. You can see it opened up the folder with my Dropbox folder, which here's the City of Smithville. And so we're going to start. Run. Alright, so now it's going to take you to this application launch page, and you're going to click on Launch Application. If you're a Mac user, this is going to be the spot that it'll skip that first screen that you just saw, and it'll open directly up to this one. So here's the and so here's the welcome screen. So during the semester, you're going to have the choice between the City of Smithville or the City of Bingham. In some of your, in this application, we're doing the City of Smithville. Another important thing, don't use these instructions, okay? I have put the instructions for each module, which I've customized to try to mix it up from previous semesters. I've put those instructions inside of each module, so don't use these, and don't use the ones that are in the folder either, okay? You're going to create a new project. Again, we're doing the City of Smithville, and you can, enter your group number, your group, group 5, or your name here. Doesn't matter. I've had somewhere in my instructions, somewhere it says to enter your group name, but that's not necessary. You can enter your name or your group name. Okay, and just kind of look around here. The accountant, here's your name up here, and an important thing to always remember is to always save. Here's the save button. Save as. After you finish your work before you close it, or you will lose it. Here in the top left-hand corner is something really important, and I've seen students miss this before. You have 7 different journals here, and actually it looks like there's 6 because you're missing a number 2. But these are the various funds that we'll learn about, the various types of funds we'll learn about throughout the semester. But the first, let's see, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and 4 are all out of the general fund, fund number 1. But as you'll learn throughout the semester, or especially in these first few chapters, governmental accounting is unique because it has a dual track focus of accounting. So you're going to have to be recording entries twice. Once in the general fund, which uses a modified accrual basis of accounting, and once in the governmental activities fund here. You're going to use this governmental activities fund throughout the semester, okay? Because you're going to have to be constantly posting things for a second time, many times in a different way. That's why you have to have a separate journal and called the governmental activities government-wide level journal. You're gonna have to do those things throughout the semester. So you're going to be constantly posting in one of these other funds, 1, 3, 6, 7, whatever, and also fund journal number 5. So I just wanted to let you know that up front, so that they're so that you wouldn't post everything to the general fund and throw off your trial balances and things like that. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about exactly how this software works, or kind of posting some entries here. So let's pull over the instructions here that you'll see something similar to for this module 2, and this starts off with some of the and actually let me show you, just to be completely clear here. In the modules, in the various modules, there is the City of Smithville link for as part of the module, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. There is a these instructions here, and I always have it highlighted for you to take a look at, so that just to make sure that you don't accidentally use the instructions from some other location. So there's that, and you'll notice too as you get later on in the semester that there are solutions for the previous module. Again, module 2 is the first one, but you'll see a hint sheet in a lot of them that give you hints about certain entries or check figures. And you'll also see this link for the previous module's solutions. And this link will not work for you until the previous module closes, because in this semester, I had, just to give you guys the maximum flexibility, I have these modules overlap with each other. Just so if you're ready to start on the next one, you can go ahead, or if you fall behind, you've still got multiple modules open at the same time so that you can play catch up, just to, again, provide you with the maximum flexibility there. So back to the instructions, which are, let's see, I thought I had them open here. Where did they go? Let's see here. Oh, here they are. I had the screen minimized. Let's see here. You're going to open an existing project. You're going to create a new project. Now, of course, when you come back in later on after you posted some entries, saved it, closed it, you'll go to open existing project, of course, instead of create new project. One of the recommendations that happens in the instructions is each time you save it, to save, especially after you've finished a module, is to save as and save as, give the save as name, indicate which module you finished in your save as. So at the end of the semester, maybe you would end up with 7 or 8 different files where you've saved them after each module. Jody Moat after module 2, Jody Moat after module 3. Those can be your save as names. That way, if you need to kind of go back to a certain point in the semester because you messed up or your file gets corrupted or something like that, which does happen. We've gotten a few student complaints about this software, and I wish there were a better option, but I think this is still pretty valuable. We've gotten some positive feedback in terms of the learning that students get from this. Alright, so if you have an open project file, you're gonna, I've already showed you how to switch between the funds, switch between the journals up there, and you know, the close X is in the top right hand corner of the screen, so that you can close the module after you've saved it. It's important. When you're posting journal entries, you'll have to go in and make sure you're in the main window. You'll have to include the following things before any entry can be added. You'll have to add a transaction description, account number and description, and a debit or credit amount must be specified. And then once you're done filling in those fields, you can click Add Entry and it will post it. And Add Entry won't work if you're missing one of those fields, so you don't have to worry about missing one of those. The description section is where lots of students post, put the problem number, so you'll have 4A7 here. So let's go ahead and post one here. Add entry, and it's recommended that, you know, because this software, you know, it's not perfect, it's not as user-friendly as, say, Microsoft Excel, in terms of like, oops, I need to correct my entry, or I need to do, it's not perfect, and so it's recommended that you kind of just do your entries in Excel first, and then just kind of go back through and quickly kind of just do data entry into the Smithville application. So once you're done with your entry, you're going to click Post Entries, okay? And that will make sure that everything balances on a debits and credits basis, that debits equal credits, and then it will allow you to post it, okay? And so after you've posted it and after you've made all of your entries here, this is where you're going to, there is one module, Module 4, I think, that you have an additional report that you need to submit. But in general, you are going to be submitting a pre-closing trial balance and a post-closing trial balance for every single module, okay? And so you can see here that it brings up this screen and it always brings it up, and I hate it brings it up in this small text there, small view. But you're going to be submitting a pre and a post-closing trial balance. And so you don't have to wait until, you don't have to generate this pre-closing trial balance before you post the closing entries. The closing entries will automatically be recognized by the system. And so you can wait till you're done to print out both the pre-closing and the post-closing trial balance. So you'll save it as a PDF file. And it's going to give you this here, and let's see, let me make sure, because there was at one point you had to save things as you had to actually type the letters, the extension PDF in after the file, which was ridiculous, and hopefully that's not the case anymore. It doesn't look like it is, which is good. Okay, so you see that right there. So yeah, that's how you will generate your pre and post closing trial balance, which is something that will be due after each module. And before I conclude this video, let me just kind of give you a few tips of what I look for whenever I'm grading these. Do closing entries. If I don't see that you even attempted closing entries, which by the way the system recognizes those is by clicking this little checkbox here when you're posting an entry. And that way it'll leave those closing entries off whenever you're generating your pre-closing trial balance. Okay, that's how it distinguishes between the two. So if you don't even attempt any closing entries, I'm going to count off for that. I'm going to be a little harsher on my grading than I am. Another thing that's a big no-no for me is if you need to review your trial balance when you're done, and make sure you don't have any crazy balances. Like, you should not have a credit balance for a tax receivable account. Okay, that should be a clue that you've got something wrong. Or you shouldn't have a credit balance for any assets, or a debit balance for any liabilities, or a debit balance for any revenues, or a credit balance for any expenditures. Budgetary balances, those are actually reversed, but you'll get into those later. But again, the point is, check your trial balances for reasonableness, for things like that that should be a clue that something's off. Okay, because if I see things like that and it's obvious that you haven't done that step and you haven't gone through and just made sure that basic accounting, rules are being followed, and checking your work for reasonableness, I'm going to count off a little more for that also. Okay, that's going to be a little bigger of a problem than just missing an entry and having some things wrong, because that means you or your group didn't go through and do any checks. Okay, one final thing: groups, communicate with each other. Communicate. Also, don't wait. Don't because coming to me mid-semester and going, hey, nobody called me, nobody emailed me, so that's why I didn't contribute the first 4 weeks of the semester. That's not going to do it. Okay, not only am I going to boot you to your own group, but you're going to get penalized pretty heavily on either the modules you've already completed or some type of group participation score, depending on how I choose to handle it for the semester. But just don't make it an issue. Communicate. Stay in touch with your group. If your group decides to divvy up the work, and with group Joe Smith and Jane Doe, they're going to prepare the entries this module, and Jody Mode is supposed to be reviewing the module. Jody, don't come in, don't just email the group back and say, hey, looks good to me, because that's not really evidence to me. If there should be a problem later on, that's not really evidence that you've reviewed it. Okay, you need to be able to discuss it with your group members. So if that's how you decide to handle it, if you guys decide to divvy up the work, where there's some people that do the module and other people that review the work, make sure you're actually reviewing it. Don't just mail it in, because not only are you going to fail the quizzes, the Smithville assignment is pretty helpful. I've gotten feedback from students that it's very helpful. Students have said, you know what, I got Module 5 off. I didn't have to do Module 5. One of my other group members did it, and that's the module I had the biggest problem with in terms of the quizzes and the midterm or final. So even if it's not your module to actually post the entries, you need to actually review your group members' work. And so anyway, if you have any technical issues or anything like that, please, review the instructions. Make sure you look over those first about how to post and all that kind of stuff, other than what I've gone through in the video. But feel free to email me, call me, whatever, and I'll be happy to try to walk through those with you.